Tonight on Left Hook, Right Jab, we're talking about the violence in Charlottesville, Virginia, and President Trump's reaction. President Trump has been criticized for not more forcefully denouncing white nationalists, going all the way back to the campaign. Joining us tonight, KXL's Lars Larson and former Portland City Commissioner Steve Novick to talk about this. Gentlemen, welcome. Here is your question tonight. Does President Trump deserve any blame for what happened in Charlottesville? And Steve, you're up first tonight.
It's like climate disruption. It's hard to attribute any specific extreme weather event to burning fossil fuels, but we know that burning fossil fuels creates an environment where there are more extreme weather events. Donald Trump has created an environment where we can expect more extreme racist events. He started his political career saying that Barack Obama wasn't born in the United States, which is a way of appealing to people who think a black president couldn't possibly be legitimate. He made an overtly racist attack on a Hispanic judge. When David Duke of the Klan endorsed him, it took him forever to say the Klan is bad. And he took it to a new level the other day when he said that the Nazis and racists in Charlottesville were no worse than the people there to oppose them. The Nazis and racists are celebrating that, and it definitely encourages them.
Steve, I got to tell you something. I think the primary factors that led to America having very tense race relations today actually started about 8 years earlier with a president who kept reminding us of race on a regular basis. If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. And he also promoted violence because it was President Obama who said, if they bring a knife, we'll bring a gun, speaking of the Republicans and the Democrats. These days, we have these crazy Antifa folks running around who say they're anti-fascist, and then they use fascistic tactics like they used in Charlottesville on Saturday. The fact is the president was not driving the car that killed Heather Heyer, and that was a sad event, and I send my thoughts and prayers to her family and everybody affected. But the Antifa crowd showed up spoiling for a fight. They brought weapons. They wanted to have a fight. And unfortunately, the city of Charlottesville participated by scheduling 2 permitted protests next to each other or near each other on the same day. They wanted a fight because they realized they could use this as a tool against President Trump. I think there's a lot of blame to go around, and the president, the first day after, said, I condemn all violence by all groups. Why isn't that enough?
Lars, these were actual Nazis. These are people who say that I, as a Jew, am subhuman. People who want an all-white state. The president said, they were also, by the way, they all brought weapons. The Nazis were the only people who killed somebody. For the president of the United States to say that Nazis are no worse than people who are there simply to oppose Nazis is incredible, and I cannot believe that you think that's appropriate.
He didn't say no worse. He said there is blame to go around and there is violence from both sides. And one side has been right here in this city promoting violence, attacking the police, attacking civilians and the like. The fact is those kinds of protests have been going on for the last 2 years. I'm against the white supremacists. I'm also against the Antifa.
So the Antifa folks don't have an ideology like the Nazis. They're not out there saying white people all go back to Europe. They're simply saying that we don't like Nazis. For you to compare the two is like saying that Franklin Roosevelt was as bad as Hitler, because after all, both Roosevelt and Hitler bought weapons to their fight.
And that's all the time we have.
I have 1 second. The Antifa attack everyone, Steve.
All right. Thank you both gentlemen for being here. We'll see you next week for Left Hook, Right Jab.
Thanks, Laurel.
Thank you. Joe?